2021 is here and we're seeing massive growth in the crypto space. Despite a recent correction in the past few days, we're only just getting started this year when we consider that we're aiming for around September time when the bull run will end, when you consider the golden bull cycle ratio. It's expected that the bull run will reach critical mass at the end of September and over the summer, with the most parabolic moves in the space are likely to happen. Altcoins will likely run for around a month after that, as money from Bitcoin cycles into other cryptos for a final push before a bear market is triggered. There are still huge gains that can be made in the space, and it's likely that many coins have the chance to have massive run-ups before the year is over. Smart investors will want to take profits on the way up at set price points and on the way down in order to minimize risk. So where are the biggest gains now likely to occur? Here's why VeChain has the potential to hit the $5 mark in 2021. Make sure to watch till the end of the video. Please like and subscribe. Welcome to Crypto Maximalist. Let's begin. VeChain is an extremely promising protocol that has already seen a huge amount of adoption. It aims to solve a key issue in the world, which is the management of supply chains. As the world becomes more complex and diverse, supply chain management will come to the forefront as one of the key issues that needs to be solved with robust and useful solutions. Currently, global supply chains contain a great deal of inefficiency, and VeChain is offering a solution that may provide utility to the emerging market. Supply chain management in itself is the issue of dealing with goods, products, materials, or supplies being transported around the world for various uses. Because of the extremely complex nature of the world, these kinds of processes have a lot of inherent problems, and finding solutions for them is what VeChain is attempting to do. The supply chain industry will only continue to increase in size as the world develops, especially in more newly developing areas such as Africa and India. Because of this, more issues will likely arise with trust and cooperation between the various components of these supply chains, and solutions to ease the management of these various parts of the supply chain is exactly what VeChain aims to do. VeChain is a cryptocurrency where records of the movement of goods can be stored immutably on the blockchain. This means that the records are incorruptible and can be seen by anyone at any time. Through the use of RFID tags, various different elements of goods being moved can be tracked, including their exact location, conditions of which they were stored in, and the amount of time in transition, amongst many other important elements. These identifiers are very useful for introducing more trust into the supply chain, as it means the exact condition of goods can be viewed at any time by all parties. The environment that goods has been stored in is also available to see, which means the quality and the integrity of goods can also be viewed as well. Because of this, many of the problems with inefficiency in the blockchain can be solved, and trust can be built up between not only businesses, but also customers. Customers being able to see the records of where their food has come from, for example, would be extremely useful for both parties. If a customer could see where their food has come from, they'd be more likely to go to a certain place. In a similar way, companies being able to track their goods in this way would be useful, as it will allow them to iron out any problems that their supply chain may have. These sorts of solutions could potentially save companies using VeChain billions of dollars in problems for various reasons. Billions are potentially lost or stolen each year in the marine supply chain alone as cargo, but technology such as VeChain could be used to track down any items that go missing in one form or another. This kind of technology may also deter theft of cargo in transition because of the ability for goods to be tracked in a much more effective manner through the blockchain. The value of being able to verify not only the location but also the authenticity of products via the blockchain is an incredible solution that VeChain presents to a market that could be valued upwards of $50 trillion currently with growth. Authenticity is a problem which we know well in the crypto space, especially on the YouTube platform. This is likely as good a time as any to state that there will most likely be scammers in the comment section down below. Do not get sucked into any scams involving WhatsApp groups or anyone that may attempt to impersonate our channel. We'll never ask you to send any crypto to us, and we'd recommend you avoid sending any form of currency to individuals you don't personally know unless you can verify their integrity thoroughly. But these kinds of practices are not limited to the YouTube comment section. Counterfeit goods is a massive business in the world and something which is only going to increase as time goes on. According to Forbes, in 2018 counterfeiting was the largest criminal enterprise in the world. Sales of counterfeit and pirated goods totaled 1.7 trillion per year, which is more than drugs and human trafficking combined. It is expected to grow to 2.8 trillion and cost more than 5.4 million jobs by 2022. This shows the sheer scale of these shady practices that are going on in the world, and how it's taking a greater and greater toll on the world economy. Vechain is perfectly placed to combat these sorts of practices in the world because of its tracking technology. Because Vechain can track and verify the quality of goods from creation all the way to delivery, every single part of its transition to the business or consumer can be traced. Because the records are stored immutably on the blockchain, this essentially means that goods that use Vechain tracking technology cannot be forged. This means that counterfeiting can be effectively stamped out with protocols such as Vechain. The RFID technology will track and verify the quality of the goods at every stage of transition, so not only their whereabouts but also if they've been tampered with, can all be monitored effectively. The benefits for this are obviously numerous, as it builds trust with not only consumers but also between businesses in supply chains. They can focus on creating more effective businesses without worrying about potential leaks in their supply chain. Businesses could potentially save billions a year across the world through the use of these sorts of technologies. Because of Vechain's recent introduction of additional layers of utility, their token has started to take on further levels of usefulness. By adding a smart contract layer to their already highly useful project, they've given the ability for functions to be executed through the use of information that they store on the blockchain. This could be useful for dApps based on the platform, which could be created by businesses to execute useful functionality. For example, a smart contract could be executed if a certain quota of goods are shipped by a certain time or date, or to a certain location, which would then automatically pay a client or customer. Other applications could also be set up for consumers, where Vechain can check the upcoming stock of an item, and if it comes into stock they can automatically purchase the item and have it shipped without having to wait to check if it's back in stock. Since the Vechain network will know where other goods are, they'll likely know when the stock will arrive and when it will be available. These kinds of utilities will be absolutely massive in the future, as the ordering online frenzy will likely continue to increase. The past few years have seen a huge turn of the consumer to ordering online, with Amazon being one of the main profiteers for this change in behaviour. Vechain could easily be set to benefit in the future as well. With the huge list of partners that Vechain currently has, the adoption of Vechain will likely continue into the future, as its network effect is becoming larger and larger. As the crypto space continues to see a massive influx of capital, it's extremely likely that Vechain will benefit from an investor standpoint, pushing the price higher and higher. The sheer amount of capital flowing into the space currently is astonishing, with many more trillions of dollars are likely to find their way into the crypto space as the bull run reaches critical mass at some time later this year. Vechain is a cryptocurrency with a clear utility, and as adoption increases, its value could continue to rise dramatically. All this sounds great, but as is commonly known in the cryptocurrency space, having a fantastic project with a quality use case isn't always a guarantee for success, and it's in fact the adoption of the token that is the most important factor. There are many coins such as Ethereum which actually have inferior technologies to most competitors, but have the adoption and network effects of their coin being highly used, that gives them the edge over their competition that cannot simply be replicated with superior tech. To this end, Vechain has a very promising future, with many of the world's largest and most well-known institutions using the technology for their supply chain tracking, including BMW, IBM, BYD, H&M, Walmart China and more. Vechain is already establishing a huge network of international adopters, which will likely continue. One of the most important factors for growth and longevity of a cryptocurrency is its network effect, and the continued adoption of Vechain by more companies as well as the current bull run could see the price of Vechain appreciate massively through 2021. Vechain's current market cap is around $2 billion, and a 50x move would see one Vechain worth well over $1, which would give Vechain around a respectable $100 billion market cap. Considering the massive growth expected in the space this year, this would likely put Vechain within the top 10 cryptocurrencies, with Bitcoin expected to hit $2 or $3 trillion in market cap, with Ethereum at around $1 to $1.5 trillion. If those are the numbers expected, Vechain would still have a lot of potential to grow, especially with its unique use case in the space. For Vechain to reach $5, it would need a $500 billion market cap, which may sound like hopium territory, but it's important to remember that in a bull run, 100 to 200x moves are common, and with Vechain market cap as low as it is, there is still a massive amount of room to grow. So what do you think of Vechain? Does it have the potential to hit the heights that so many believe it can? Drop a comment down below and share your price target for Vechain, along with the reasons behind it. We're always interested to know what you think.